On this episode of Crossing the Streams, I'm hanging out with my friend JediGreg. Welcome, Greg.
Howdy, y'all. It's a beautiful, beautiful Saturday. It's the weekend.
For those who don't know about you and what you do on Twitch, why don't you give us a quick rundown of who you are, what your content is about, and what your community is like?
My name is Greg, or JediGreg, whatever you prefer. Obviously, love Star Wars, love anime. You can see all the stuff behind me unless you're listening and not watching. My stream is mostly compiled of art streams with a little bit of gaming, but mostly art streams. I do a lot of graphic design. I've been a graphic designer for a little over a decade now. I know I'm just screaming my age out right now, but that's okay. But yeah, started in high school, did a lot of graphic design, got more into photography, found Twitch just because I've been a gamer my whole life, and started doing art streams, just doing people's logos live, doing people's emotes, animations, all that good stuff. The occasional, fun stuff for my own personal projects to get out there and throw on the socials. But yeah, mostly showing off the process and the final product.
Awesome. So when people tune into your channel, twitch.tv/JediGreg, they see that you're usually doing art. You're working on sometimes on commissions, usually, right?
Yep.
I've noticed that also to pass the time, you tend to also do community-based games like Marbles on Stream, things like that.
Yeah, we'll do Marbles. As well as Drawy. Drawy is a super fun game on Steam. It's basically a Pictionary. It gives me like 60 seconds to draw something. They have to guess in chat. Kind of keeps it within the art range, but yeah, it's just fun. Art streams can get a little a little slow at times. Not like crazy gaming, shooting, bomb explosions going off. So to keep the attention,
right,
a couple games here and there help out the art a little bit.
Right. What brought you to Twitch specifically early on?
It was kind of the height of the PUBG era, if you were there, and all of my homies were playing it. I was playing with them. One of my friends was actually getting pretty big on Twitch, and he kind of introduced me to it. And he knew that I had done graphic design in the past. We went to the same school, and he was like, "Hey, can you make my own logo? Can you make my logo, my emotes?" And I was like, "I mean, I've never have, but yeah, I'll give it a shot." We actually went on Skype, again showing my age, and I don't know if Discord had the share screen option yet or not. But besides that, we were on Skype. I was sharing my screen, and he was like, "You should stream this. Like, you should show people the process of how you do this, because I love watching you do this, and I love giving you live feedback." And here we are today. I've been doing it for about 3 years now, just showing off commissions, and it's about a 50-50 split. I'll do commissions and personal projects, as well as stock in the Etsy store for the holidays or whatever. Do a lot of pay to use emotes, so for people who are just getting into streaming, may not have all the money in the world just drop on their streaming setup and branding right away, but want some emotes to fill in that blank space. They're a little bit on the cheaper side, and like I said, they're mass produced, so multiple people can own them. They're not custom. So yeah, it's just a nice way to show off your artwork. Twitch has been great. It took me a really long time to get where I am. And just still plenty of room to grow, as there is with any content creator.
That's really awesome to hear, that you were just kind of making art randomly for someone, and then they suggested, hey, why don't you actually stream this? I think that with artists on Twitch, that's certainly something that I'm glad we're seeing more of. We haven't, it wasn't until the last couple of years, right? Maybe I want to say between 3-4 years ago that we even started seeing it become more of a regular thing on Twitch. When you're doing art for an audience, how does that impact the actual work that you're doing?
Well, at first I was worried, honestly. I was like, there's going to be so many eyes on me. There's so many eyes, just like, they're going to judge me. They're going to think like, what the heck is this guy doing? Maybe someone who's more experienced with the program I'm using is like, why is he doing it like that? But it's actually been quite the opposite, as far as, having that many sets of eyes looking at my artwork. It's actually almost made me more creative in that way, and kind of gives me a new perspective at things, especially even people that aren't artists themselves, people who would like, hey, I love this piece, but what if you tried this color? I like, one person might have a preference of 2 color combinations and someone else, and then we try both of them and we decide on one, and that gives me I don't know. It's almost like having an art director kind of over your shoulder telling you what to do, but not in a mean way. Just like, hey, try this
Right.
out. Why don't you try this out? And then obviously, if we're working on commissions, the live feedback, it was a little scary at first. Again, with people either one judging or giving live feedback and me being bummed about it. But yeah, it's been good. It's been really good. Like I said, it was very nerve wracking. Not nerve wracking, but I was nervous that it was going to be nerve wracking at first. But it's been quite the opposite, and everyone's just been super chill and easy to work with. It's been good.
Did it take a lot for
Yeah,
you to adjust to that, or what was that like for you?
a little bit. If I'm being honest, I never had, I was never in a professional atmosphere with graphic design. At least I did work as a photography intern for a while, so I had some experience, working in that kind of professional atmosphere. But for the most part, it was kind of my intro to doing art. Like I'd never picked up a pen or pencil. I mean, I drew like randomly when I was in middle school, but it wasn't good. It was really, really bad. It wasn't until about 5, 6 years ago where I really started picking up the iPad. Actually, I used an iPad with an Apple Pencil,
Hmm.
and it just changed my life. I was like, I love this. Logos are great and stuff, and you don't need to draw to do that. But yeah, like I said, it was my intro to it, so it wasn't a huge adjustment as far
Yeah.
as doing it in front of people. So that's helped out a lot, I'd say, with being nervous in front of people. But yeah, it's been good. It's definitely been good and not too stressful.
Good. At what point while starting out did you decide that like this was the thing for me? What made you decide? Like, was there a turning point at all, or how did you kind of arrive at the I think I'm going to keep doing this for the foreseeable future?
Well, like any content creator, and don't stress over this, but I was looking at my stats, my
Mm.
numbers, my views, and when I would play a game, I would realize, all right, my community is not really here for my gameplay. I'm not the worst at games, I'm pretty good. I've been playing for a while now, but I was looking at my numbers and I'd say like, wow, these art streams, like that's where I get the most people in here, the most chatters, the most support. And again, numbers aren't everything, but when you're in this field and you're trying to get your artwork out there, it does help to look at those stats. And yeah, that was kind of the turning point. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna do it. It started to be like I'll do art and then game after, art and then game after, and then like Fridays were just games. And then it was just like, all right, just Fridays games. And then it's like, all right, now it's always art all the time. And then randomly, if I'm in a funky mood, I'll play a game because
Hmm.
now that I've gotten to the point where I'm at, I'm not sweating over numbers too much. I feel pretty, and I mean this in a humble way. I feel like the success of the art has gotten to the point where I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is a really great way to look at it because especially when you're on Twitch trying to figure out what you're doing, you're not really sure if you should be like maybe in your case doing a little gaming, doing a little art, like which way to go. I think it's
Yeah.
actually a perfect example of how a lot of people should maybe get started, right? Like try out the
Yeah.
different things that interest you and then see what sticks.
Yeah. And I'm all about, play what you want to play. This is for the gamers, I guess, the game streamers. Do what you enjoy because that's what people are going to really see you for. And, the biggest thing I heard is like, they're there for you, not the content or the game.
Hmm.
But, take that with a grain of salt. You do have to have somewhat of a personality.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's don't sweat the numbers, but also pay attention to them.
Yeah.
If I have anything to say about it.
Dee Dee, the
Yeah.
human, one of your community members, spoke up in chat and said, "I think a lot of people in the JediGreg community don't just come for the content and art, but because of the personality and making it fun and being open to ideas and sort of a safe space." So that's really cool. You know,
Oh,
firsthand comment from someone who is a member of
yeah.
Greg's community. I've hung out in your streams, and I love what you do, and it's definitely you're very. I what I appreciate about it is that you're very like open to
Mm,
ideas. You're very like willing to take any kind of feedback or comments as they come in, and that's very cool. Not everyone is as I would say willing to do that. Kudos to you for that.
yeah. I
Recognize it.
appreciate that. Those some very kind words coming from chat. Thank you guys seriously so much.
Hmm.
It means a lot. Not only that you guys support me in my stream, but are here, the extended community and hanging out more and more and checking us out and checking out his stuff. It means a lot. It goes a long way. Trust me.
It does, and it's very appreciated. And a lot of people love your mustache. I'm just saying, for those of you, there's been multiple comments.
Yeah.
If you're listening, I'm sorry you're missing out instead of watching. But
Mm.
if you're listening and you don't see it, maybe you need to
It's no
turn
Burt
turn.
Reynolds, but
Hey, it's a respectable, excellent
yeah,
mustache. I'm just
I'll take it.
there's presence there. Just
It is there. It is
it's
there. I
you're like
haven't I haven't named it yet. I haven't named it yet, but
you
soon.
get you're getting. Are there any things about being an artist that like from your perspective that you didn't expect, or something that surprised you when you started doing art specifically on stream?
That's a good question. I don't think anything really took me by surprise necessarily, but I guess like the amount of interest in it. I was always under the impression that Twitch was just for gaming and just for gamers. But there's a lot of people that just want to hang out. They just want someone that shares the same interests. They see my shelves behind me, like, oh, you like Star Wars? Oh, you like anime? Oh, wow, you also do art, and it's just like finding those connections that I wasn't expecting so much in the art field, especially. With a game, you'd be like, oh, what's your favorite loadout? What's your favorite gun? What's your favorite character? But combining those elements and finding also gamers and people who are just here to chill and enjoy their, off time, their downtime, and just relax. And, sometimes I have chill music on, sometimes I have loud music on, whatever mood we're feeling in. I feel like that's a nice way to connect with people. And yeah, I was surprised, I'd say, for sure, with the amount of connections I was able to make with not and this goes for any content creators. It's like sometimes your internet friends become some of your best friends in your entire life, and it's wild to think that, because you grew up with kids and went to school with them. And me drawing a Pikachu got me got the interest of someone that is now one of my best friends. And I'm just using it as an example, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool, definitely cool.
yeah. I like how you highlight the fact that it's just been kind of not unexpected, but like you said, I think when a lot of people who aren't really as involved with Twitch, or even some folks who are, they kind of have that presumption that it's all games, only games, right? And then you and I, we come from
Yeah.
different categories, but we're mostly non-gaming categories, right? Like you do art,
Yeah.
I do brick building and talk shows and things like that. And
Right.
it's really neat to see that there is a space for this kind of stuff, and it's kind of nice to see that we're seeing more and more people realize that alongside us too. That you
Right.
know, I've been in streams where for the first time people are realizing that art is actually a thing that you can just find people doing on Twitch, where
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, I didn't know you could even see this sort of thing," right?
Yeah. And it's free.
And it's
Besides some
free,
ads,
free entertainment,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
true.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think people forget about that, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on the other side too, streamers forget that too. You're offering the service, and do you want a bunch of subs? Heck yeah, but you can't expect it all the time. But yeah, also like what you were saying with the different communities, did I ever think I was gonna watch, grown adults build Legos? No, but I love it now. It's like one of my favorite things to do at night. I'm just sitting here working on my own artwork, and I have you or Fred or Amish up, and I'm just like, these guys are awesome. They're so cool, and they're all so chill. And yeah, just again back to the connections that you never thought you'd make is very surprising and well appreciated.
Yeah.
So thanks, Twitch.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Twitch. That it's pretty inspiring, in my opinion, to see that the talent, right? I mean, I consider you a very talented artist, and the fact that I can just get on Twitch and watch someone who's really good at what they do
Thank you.
hang out and do their
Yeah.
thing. And, I'm no artist myself, physical or digital artist, but it's really cool watching the techniques that
Yeah.
that you use, or how you even bend things like Photoshop or whatever other art,
Yeah.
applications you
Yeah.
use to your will.
Yeah, same
Very
goes for me. I'll jump in the art category, and there's always someone out there that's better than you. There's always room for improvement and learning and more knowledge out there. And Twitch is just a great resource for that.
This is a good opening to ask, and you kind of touched a bit on the fact that you do. But what streams do you like to watch? Who do you like to watch on Twitch?
Like I said, I love the brick building community. Those guys are awesome. You guys are very enjoyable to watch. It's basically like you're back in your heyday and in high school or middle school, whenever you're building Legos and you're just hanging out with them, maybe building along and just having fun. And again, the connections you can make as far as we're all geeks, loving whatever shows we want to talk about, whatever's big in the TV right now. It's
Yeah.
really just a just chatting stream with some extra elements to it. Yeah, and I like that fact. I'm also again a huge gamer. Again, people don't watch me for the games, but I do play a lot off stream. I'm a big Valorant guy, big Call of Duty guy, Destiny included. I know you've recently gotten into Destiny, which I am very proud of.
Yeah, it's true.
Playing all those for a very long time. So yeah, I'd say besides like the just chatting art, the brick building community, lots of FPS games, some big FPS guys. I like the OGs. I originally, when I first got into Twitch, I was watching Summit 1G a whole lot. A lot of the big names, Shroud. I really like CS:GO for a while. I just love competitive shooters. They're a blast to me. I'm not very great at them, but I have fun. When I first started too, I was big into the Overwatch. Now that Overwatch 2 has just come out, it's a little, it's not as exciting, but it was a good time. I'd say that was probably my peak gaming career as far as how good I am at games. But yeah, I'm all around, honestly, in Twitch. Whoever's live, I try and throw up as many people as possible and at least be active in a few of them. Also, with that, I love my big content creators, people everyone look up to, but don't forget to support your small streamers, your friends. They always could use a little bump in the chat. Maybe it's a little quiet. Say hello. How's it going? How's your game? It goes a long way, and they might not always show it, but it really does. So I do try to support everyone.
Do you have anyone that you watch that inspires you in terms of like other artists or other people who do similar things? Do you have any particular, like, what kind of role models do you have on Twitch?
Quite a few. I would say in the art category, if you ever have a chance, if you're listening to the stream, guys, go check out Young Kong. It's YUNG Khan, KHAN. Honestly, one of my favorite artists I've ever seen, not just on Twitch, but just in general. He's an absolute legend. Some of my favorite styles of artwork. He does mascot logos, full on branding, emotes. Honestly, I'm proud of where I am, but I still aspire to be that man. Like, he is like an absolute legend, almost to the point where like I'm always lurking in his chat, but I'm very, very quiet. I don't talk very much, but
yeah,
he's just a good dude in general. Family man. He rescues dogs. He's just cool as heck. He's just amazing at what he does. Also a big Destiny guy. Just throw that in there.
Oh, you got my attention now.
Yep. He also plays Destiny once in a while, but art always comes first. And again, when we were talking about that earlier, it's kind of the same thing. I was like, man, this guy only does art. Maybe I should try that.
Yeah.
And it's definitely gotten me to get a little bit forward. Yeah, and he's a partner as well on Twitch. So if you guys ever get a time to go check him out, it's incredible. What he does is like inspirational. But yeah, definitely go check him out.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, other than art streamers, there's a ton out there. I could make a very long list. But honestly, just friends that I've been started. We started streaming around the same time. We have Sportscast Squad. I'm on their stream team. We started around the same time. He was just doing podcasts, ironically, and Fortnite and some Destiny, just randomness. And kind of like we were talking about before, he found his niche, which was marbles on stream. He does a lot of marbles, and he just blew up and hit partner. And it's just incredible to see someone you started with get to that point and just absolutely kill it, build that community, and and be humble about it and share their community with you. You know, I'm not a big we play marbles on stream once in a while. You know, that's not my main category, but there's so many people from over there that started with that stream and have just been friends since the start. And we're still best friends. We play games all together all the time. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's really nice to see your friends prosper. I feel like a lot of people might, you know, get a little bummed sometimes, like, oh, my friend's doing better than me, but don't ever think like that. It's always positive. Be positive. It'll come your way. You know, just keep your head up. And yeah, it's just really cool to see people grow.
You've been doing this a while. The main question I think that comes from having spoken to you for a little bit now is, you know, you've seen enough to kind of say you've been doing this. I guess as someone who's been doing this for a while, what do you consider the most challenging thing that you deal with as a content creator and artist on Twitch?
Hardest thing to deal with, I guess, really just staying consistent is probably, and this I know that's not just me, but you miss a week, you go on vacation, you get married, which I recently did, and you just feel like the whole time in the back of my head, oh no, when I get back, nobody's going to remember me. My community's gone. They found another streamer. They found someone else. So you know, part of it is just anxiety. And when I came back, everything was all good. Honestly, it was better, if anything. They were like excited to see me back. But yeah, you feel like you have to stream every day. You have to stream on your schedule, be there every single time. My biggest thing, and maybe a tip, I don't know if you want to call it a tip, but only do it if you're feeling up to it. There's some mornings where I wake up and I'm not feeling it. I can't do it today. And your chat, your viewers will know, even if you're trying to hide it. I've gone live and just been kind of trucking through, and someone chat like, oh, you look sleepy today. I'm like, oh man, like they definitely can tell I'm like not all about it. So yeah, I guess that would be the hardest thing is just consistency. And that goes both ways with streaming and my artwork and commissions. It's been a journey. And you know, you think just an artist is here drawing cartoons and then send it off and done. It's not always like that. You know, we have to be our own boss. There's no one here to tell me, Greg, get this done today or you're fired. Or, you know, I'm not saying like a mean boss or anything would help, but you know, you got to be your own boss. You got to be consistent. You have to keep yourself accountable. There's scheduling. You're not just an artist or a content creator. You're everything. You're the whole business. And at the same time, you also have to represent yourself. You have to look good. You don't have to be good looking. I mean, like you have to, you know, be presentable. You have to wake up. You know, sometimes you just don't feel like waking up and showering that morning.
I get
and you
that.
throw a hat on.
You throw a hat on. You sit down.
Yeah, good to go. I did shower before this, if anyone's wondering.
Excellent.
just for more.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What kind of things help you stay motivated on those days that you're feeling particularly not wanting to do it?
You know, honestly, the fact that I have my dream job. I am so lucky to be doing what I'm doing. A lot of artists specifically struggle with commissions and getting work, and I've gotten to the point where I'm struggling to keep up with it. And I take about like 20 commissions at a time. I try to limit myself. It's not been a struggle per se, but it motivates me to do better every single time I do get a commission, do get someone new to talk to, and throughout the time, just meeting new people, partners. I've recently worked with like an esports organization in China, which was like super crazy and random. And it's like, wow, like there's people in China reaching out to little old me. I know that sounds weird, but it's just it's inspiration for myself to like just keep grinding. And you know, what we were just talking about, how I don't have a boss. That's awesome, and not having a boss is great. And you know, while it is a struggle sometimes, it's a big plus side to being able to work at your own pace and your schedule and be able to stay creative. You know, a lot of graphic designers I know that did go to college, that did go to school for it, they get into these fields and they feel like their creativity is just gone and they have to make menus every day, which is cool. I'd design menus for a restaurant, you know, but it can probably get boring. Yeah, with my line of work, Twitch branding and emotes, you know, it's always something new. So I do appreciate that.
Do you have any thoughts or advice for someone who wants to get started as an artist on Twitch, and things to kind of consider before they make that jump?
Yeah, I mean, any schooling will tell you this, but if you didn't go to school like myself, your portfolio is your number one. Like, you need to get a portfolio. You can't just tell people you make emotes and they're gonna hire you. You need to be able to show off your work, and don't get discouraged. There, like I was talking about before, there's always someone out there better than you. There's always someone that's gonna make a better emote, but price yourself accordingly. Do your research, and don't be, I mean this in the nicest way, but I'm sure you've dealt with it on Twitter. The graphic design bots. Don't be a bot. Don't just randomly comment on someone's tweet. Hey, I'm a graphic designer. I do this, blah 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 blah. It makes us look so bad. And I've never, I post my own Twitter. I post my own socials. I'll never ever self promote in someone else's things. It's awful. I have people reach out to me. I'm like, did you even look at my page? I literally do this for a living. Like, oh, do you need any graphics for your stream? Like, no, but thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean in a nice way, but don't be a bot. Like, learn from those people that are trying to, and I hate to say scam, but there's a lot of scams out there. I'd say about 25 to 50% of my clients are people who got designs, no offense, on Fiverr, and were just super disappointed. They were like, hey, I got this on Fiverr. I paid $5 for this, and this is what I got. And, the age old saying, you pay what you get for, it's very true, especially when it comes to graphic design. And yeah, I guess any other advice than that, just do your own thing, never trace, but, get inspiration, find your favorite artist. What are your favorite artists doing, and why are they your favorite? Why are they doing so well? Why are they constantly filling up commissions, and learn from them. If you're lucky enough to be able to watch them do the process, like maybe myself, then
Mm-hmm.
learn. That's another thing I like to do in my channel too, is I don't consider it a tutorial stream by any sorts, but if you have a question, ask. I will gladly answer. I do not gatekeep, and I'd say most artists are that way too.
I often get those direct messages on Twitter from people.
The
If I
worst.
if I
The
even
worst.
say, like, if I even use the words art and streamer in the same
Yep.
tweet, or like
Yep.
branding or something like that, I will get replies, DMs, and all that.
Yeah, recently for me, it's been a lot of NFT stuff. They see that my style of designs, you're not on the full screen, but when you're on the full screen, some of my prints here, they're very NFT-ish. Do I ever plan on getting into it? Probably not at the moment, but maybe someday. But yeah, a lot of people are like trying to get me to do NFTs and work with them, and it's very sketchy at the moment. I won't get into too much of the NFT stuff.
Sure.
I'm not for or against it, but it's just not my deal. I like
Mm-hmm.
doing what I do now and sticking with it. But yeah, same deal with the Twitter bots. The NFT bots are all over my DMs.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad. It's gotten pretty rough lately, but if that's the worst thing that happens to me today, then great.
So a big part of what you do as an artist is a lot of commission work, especially commission for other creators. Whether it's branding and or emos, things like that.
Yep.
As an artist who does a lot of this, I would love to get your perspective on like things that you would love to see people do when they get ready to talk to an artist about this stuff.
I guess when you're reaching out to someone, obviously, again, like we were just talking about, check out their portfolio if they have one. They should.
Yeah.
um, Make sure you know what you're asking for. Every artist has a very specific style. Every artist has a very specific stuff they won't do. Maybe they will do. I wouldn't necessarily say no to anyone, but there has been a couple times where people are like, hey, can you do this as an emote? And you just got to be realistic about something, especially with the emotes. They're so tiny. People are like, oh, I want my guy reaching behind with a katana with a nuclear bomb blowing up, also a stormtrooper punching him in the face. I'm like, bro, I'm sorry, but no. Like, we could do a combo emote, maybe. Have that. I just threw random words together, but you know what I mean. Like, it's just be realistic in your wants and needs, and it's kind of, you don't have to necessarily say you have creative freedom, but do give them some space. Like tattoos, for example. Every single one of these, I've just been like, hey, I want this. Do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. And then I don't even ask before I get there what it looks like. I just show up, and hopefully I'm happy about it. It's been good so far.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, definitely be involved. You are paying good money to get what you want, but also be realistic in your needs and wants. And yeah, just do your research, I guess, to repeat myself for the 10th time.
Right.
Yeah.
Which would also apply to, of course, picking out an artist too. Even before you make
Yes.
contact, take a
Yep.
look at their portfolio, look at what
Hmm.
their style, what they do,
Hmm.
see if it's a good fit, right? And
Yep.
then
Yeah, 1000%.
when you reach out, then, and like you said, have some stuff in mind,
Yep.
as well as being able to speak to what you want, which is
Yep.
all really,
No, I
really,
agree.
really
Yeah.
helpful. Are there any particular things that are common when a creator reaches out to you that you wish that they knew or did before doing that, or did we kind of cover everything there?
Uh, I, I'd say for the most part, it's been pretty lax, I'd say, as far as people reaching out for commissions. I've been doing this about 3 years, graphic designs, and I've had one or two refunds, I think. And
Mm.
I'll be honest, I won't. They just weren't happy with it, and that happens. Not everyone's going to be happy, but I do my best. I'd say that's a pretty good percentage for for
Yeah,
commissions, the amount I've done. But yeah, it's we kind of covered most of it, and yeah, just be respectful. You're just don't forget they're not just an artist; they're a human as well. We have
right.
feelings. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
break down and cry on stream, but
As someone who has done so many commissions at this point, uh, what is one project that you were super excited about, out of
oh
curiosity?
man, I'd love to say all of them, and they are all awesome. But the ones that really stick out to me, I'd say, are the Star Wars ones. Just
Right.
specifically, I mean, my name's JediGreg. It gives
Yeah.
me room to one, be creative, and two, just work on my favorite things. As well as anime. If anyone's like, doing anime art or Star Wars art, it all kind of it all kind of melts together as far as just being a geek and nerd, and just I get to enjoy the design. Not saying I don't enjoy ones that aren't with those. Um, but just like little things, like especially being on Twitch, most of the time I do have a connection with it. I'm working on like someone who wants a Tauren logo right now from World of Warcraft. I'm like, oh, I used to play World of Warcraft. I love World of Warcraft. So I don't have to do as much research, and I don't enjoy it because I don't have to work as hard, but because I have such an affinity to it, and I've been around it for longer than usual.
Hmm.
But yeah, other than that, I would say the ones that I was like least expecting. I was telling you earlier about the Chinese esports team I did designs for. I
Yeah.
literally had to do two versions of it, where one was in Chinese and one was in English, and it was for a TFT tournament. And they literally just need like concert posters. And I hate to say I was the guy on the bench, but they were like, "Hey, our graphic designer just like isn't working anymore, and we need this like next week." And I was like, "This is my chance. Like, I'm getting in. I'm putting my foot in the door." And it's been good. And they've reached out again for more artwork recently, and it's like a cool feeling. I never thought drawing emotes and cartoons and making overlays and animations would get me to work with internationally, and it's a cool
Yeah.
feeling. I'm just very lucky, very lucky, and I would say that's up there. I definitely say that's up there as far as my favorite commission. Yeah,
That's really awesome. I mean, not everyone gets to do something like that. And the fact
yeah,
that they reached out to you, I think that's great.
yeah,
It truly shows, I think, the level of quality that you have, the work that you do. I agree. I think you should be proud of that. That's really awesome.
thank you. Definitely am,
Yeah.
definitely am. Sounding
Yeah.
trying to be as humble as possible, but it feels good. Feels good.
Of course.
Progression.
Yeah. As when you do art on Twitch, do you find generally the feedback is helpful. We kind of touched on this a little earlier, but the one unique aspect of streaming it live is the fact that you are getting real time comments, feedback from
Oh yeah.
the chat. How does that affect your ability to make art while doing it?
Sometimes it's a bit of a challenge. I wouldn't say it's nerve-wracking in any sense. It does sometimes challenge me in a way. It's something I wouldn't normally do. I was working on an emo last week, and Didi in chat was like, "Hey, what if you did the fingers like this?" And I couldn't, sometimes putting text to your words, or in your header, it's just hard sometimes. And they literally like wrote on a post-it note how I should do it, and then Discorded it to me.
Yeah,
Checked it out, did it live, and I was like, yeah, that looks way better. Like, I need to start doing this more when I do fingers like this. I mean, that's
yeah,
just one
yeah,
example, but
yeah.
yeah, that was just like for an Etsy thing, but commission specifically, it's actually I thought it'd be opposite, but it's ironically saved me more time, I'd say, than doing the design, sending to them, waiting for a week reply, or a couple day reply, and then, hey, can you change all of this? And then do it again. Oh, I like that, but can you do this? It's just constantly revolving. When I'm doing it live, it's instant. Hey, try this. Okay, I don't like that. Go back to what it was. Simple
Mm-hmm.
things like that. It's just like you're not going back and forth in email. But again,
Yeah.
at first I was very reluctant and kind of worried, like, man, I'm doing this live. Like, this is kind of like, I'm nervous. They're just gonna like not like it. Like, but
Mm-hmm.
what I've learned is always send them the rough sketch first. I always send them a rough sketch, that just pencil and paper, nothing too crazy. And if once they approve that, then I'll do that on stream. So at least they know what they're getting into. So that has saved me a little bit, definitely.
I
Yeah.
like that as kind of a process thing, right? Because then
Yeah.
you can get your rough sketch out, get it in a
Yeah.
place that you're like, this is what I'm thinking, send it over. Now what's interesting is that you said you find it really useful getting that live feedback, and sometimes chat is
Mhm.
kind of hard to make, like, figure out what exactly do they mean. Have you ever started or considered doing like live calls with the with folks, or do you think that's
Yes
weird?
and no. Um, not necessarily weird. It's more of something I'm not used to doing, so it's a little like, I don't know. I'm just like hesitant to do it. Yeah, and also, I'm doing the stream, and I'm gonna stream anyway, so it's a good way for that. When I'm off stream, I try and make it priority, commissions and downtime and me time. Like we were talking about earlier, you're working 24/7 as a content creator. So throwing that on top of it and trying to schedule, just like with your podcast, trying to schedule a meetup same time,
Yep.
different time zones, it can get a little rough.
Yeah.
But and I hate to say my bigger clients, but the people who are spending a little bit more money, I do like to get in a call with them, because one, they deserve it, and two, it does help me get a little bit more of a handle on things, for sure.
Totally fair. Totally fair. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
throwing something out to see what sticks to the wall. I don't know if that's actually a good thing, but
Definitely.
it's definitely interesting when you're doing work live in front of people.
Hmm.
It's always interesting to see, and like you pointed out, and we already touched on, when you read a message in chat, sometimes it's hard to make 100% sense out of what they
Yeah.
mean, or
Yeah.
even
Are they
like,
trolling me?
right, deriving any kind of, like, are
Yeah.
they messing with me, or do they
Yeah. There's no
legit want?
sarcasm in text.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I always miss sarcasm in chat. It's just
Mhm.
hard because, like,
Yep.
I don't want to not take someone's comment seriously, right?
Exactly.
And then when I do, they're like, "No, I didn't mean that." I'm like, "Oh, okay, my
Yep. Yep.
bad."
Yeah, like music lyrics and movie quotes. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Billy Madison." I'm like, "Oh, like, I have no idea what you're talking about." But yeah, yeah, it definitely happens with art a whole lot. But
Yeah.
pictures help. I've had a bunch of people just send me photos of what they're talking about, and it helps a whole lot, because, like I said, it's just an extra set of eyes looking at it that might not something that I might not normally do, that helps out.
Yeah. That's really cool. How many commissions would you think that you've done at this point on stream?
Oh man.
Roughly. I mean, I know there's no real way of knowing since you
Yeah,
probably don't count everyone.
roughly. I mean, I try and do at least like 1 or 2 a week. So let's just say 2, average
Mm-hmm.
it out. Sometimes I'll do more than that. Um, man, how many weeks are in a year?
Like
52-ish.
52.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know, roughly a little over 100, maybe closer to 150, 200.
Yeah.
I'd say in that range. Yeah, definitely. I could probably whip out my financials and list everyone, but that might
Yeah.
take a little longer for podcast.
Yeah.
But
That's
sometimes a commission is one emote, and then sometimes it's a whole brand. So it's a lot of. It's just a variety of how long it might take.
that's impressive, dude, that you've done that many already in that amount of time.
Yeah.
How has your from your perspective changed in all that time?
A lot.
Yeah.
Not only the quality, but the way I do my process. Another great thing about being in the art category is that you're going to get other artists in there. They'll teach you little things here and there. And I've been doing Adobe stuff for years, and still someone can come in next week and be like, "Oh, just do this instead." And my mind will be blown. I'll be like, "I did not know this was a tool. I did not know you could do this, and this has changed my life forever now. It's amazing."
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole process, honestly, I'd say from start to finish has changed quite a bit. I used to not even draw on my iPad. I do Procreate on my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
I would just bring it right into Illustrator and just try and draw with my mouse. And I still do a lot of my work with my mouse. Some people think I'm crazy when I do pen. I use the pen tool for most of my line work and stuff. But yeah, it's just come a long way. I say is the process and the quality. We randomly will on stream. I'll be like, guys, I still have my old files from 3 years ago. Like, look at this emote compared to today's. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's again, we were talking about what inspires me and motivates me is that looking back at my old stuff and being like, all right, now what am I going to look like from 3 years from now if I continue to do this?
Yeah.
I might be on that level of where people I look up to right now. Hopefully that's the goal. Never
Yeah.
stop. Draw every day, and or game every day. Whatever your content creation is, just do it. It sucks sometimes, but in the
Yeah.
end, it's going to make you a better artist, a better gamer, a better Lego builder, whatever you want to
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
It's just practice. Really, practice makes perfect. Just like riding a bike.
In the same line of things, but not as an artist, as a streamer. How do you think you've changed and grown over the years?
Quite a bit, I would say. Besides getting rid of all the games and strictly going to art. With the time I've been streaming, I've been lucky to build a community, and being able to talk as much as I do on stream now is wild to me. It's crazy to think we'll have 40, 50 people in there that are just listening to me talk. Like, it doesn't feel real sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a wild feeling as far as, when I first started, when, you'd have to make up conversations with yourself and, and talk about that movie you saw all by yourself. It's weird. And I'm showing love to the 1 to 3 viewer streamers out there. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Cause you'll get there. You'll get there. It's a wild feeling. And, it's just, I'm very happy. I don't know how else to say. I'm very
Yeah.
happy with where the stream has come. So yeah, I'd say as far as a difference, yeah, just having a community is a wild feeling. I never thought I'd have so many people hanging out with me, let alone on the internet. Yeah, it's cool. It's very cool. Definitely enjoyed and happy with myself that I stuck with it. Yeah.
That's really awesome. Do you have any kind of long-term plans for like the channel and the stream? Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to do that. That's a big goal of mine up there for sure. I never did any proper like schooling or anything for graphic design. It's all been self-taught besides trade school in high school. I went to you did like half gen ed and then half I did graphic arts and communications, which is actually more shirt printing than anything, but a little bit of Photoshop in there. But yeah, long term, I would love to just see my art get out there a little bit more. a little bit more. I would love to get my own table some days, be it an artist alley. I've never done that before. I just recently started printing out my stuff. It's always been digital. It just opened that Etsy store, so just constantly finding ways to get my artwork out there, how to sell it properly, finding out what people like, and yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe next year, TwitchCon, I could be at Artist Alley drawing an emote live for people. That
That's
would definitely
exciting.
be a dream. Yeah, that'd definitely be a dream of mine for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I know we talked about this earlier, but TwitchCon's going on right now.
Yep.
I hope everyone's having fun. I wish I was there.
Yep. Yeah, Greg and I were discussing a bit of our mutual TwitchCon FOMO right now.
Yeah.
Wanting to get involved and seeing all the people out there enjoying their time on at the con. I think those are great goals. I think that you will totally eventually make it there, man. And definitely I could easily see you doing your thing at TwitchCon at the very least, you know.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Doing some art alongside of many other folks that are doing their thing too. Fingers crossed for that. I hope that you know, you get to fulfill such things.
Heck yeah. I mean, you were specifically talking about the stream, but you know, there's always that chance that someone outside of the stream will notice my artwork, and you know, a salary job doesn't sound too bad. But I've never worked in like a graphic design atmosphere, and it'd be kind of a cool experience. I think, you know, might have to tone the streams down a little bit, but I think it'd be worth it in the end for the stability, I guess you could call it.
Yeah. You know, you've done with all the commissions you've done. I'm wildly curious in terms of the kind of emotes that you do. Is there one particular emote that you've done the most of?
You know, I do get a lot of booty requests. I
you
do get a lot of butt requests. Yes. And it's a gray area with Twitch, you know. Sometimes they're okay with it, sometimes they're not. And I always have to warn people.
Right.
Yeah, the booty request, the ego. If anyone knows what that, I don't know if I'm even saying it proper, but you know, the crossed eyes, the tongue out.
Oh yeah, that
more on the sexual side. They can get a little spicy. But yes, a lot of people come to me for those for whatever reason. I mean, I'll take them. I love drawing; it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm not out here drawing a hentai or anything. It's art, you know. Hentai's art, but that you can't do that with those emotes. You can't do that with the emotes. You got to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say besides that, the biggest one are my jammies, like the dancing ones. To keep it on a lighter PG note, the jammies. Yeah, people really like the dancing emotes. When I've had the honor of doing a few of those for a lot of streamers, including the brick building community. I'm sure you've seen a couple.
I have.
Myself, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, Zach's Badonkagonk, one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites up there.
That one is one of my favorites, just simply because it exists.
So gold.
Yeah.
So gold. Yeah. I was very honored to do that for him.
Yeah. Have there been any ones that have surprised you in terms of like emote requests?
Surprise? I wouldn't say necessarily surprise, but maybe not something I've ever done before, as far as, especially for not recently. It's been almost half a year now, probably, since animated emotes came out. The surprise of getting those, honestly, on Twitch, I never thought I would. You know, I did animations, animated screens, starting screens, be right back screens, but I never thought about animating an emote. And I was like, well, I have the skills to animate. Now, how do I take these basic 2D graphics and do it for emotes and make them look good? So yeah, I guess just in general, all animated emotes, you know, they've been a constant challenge and a constant learning process as far as it goes with, you know, I never drew my emotes before thinking, all right, now it has to move. So that was a big surprise for me, but a welcome surprise, because animated emotes are great and everyone loves them, and I'm stoked that they came to Twitch.
It's one of the I believe the greatest additions for everyone is the fact that
1000%. Yeah.
Animated emotes are, I mean, the fact that it took them this long to get them still blows me away, because I feel like in a meme centric platform, I feel like of all the places
Yeah, they could
you would,
also been a little scared, like, oh no, what are people gonna do?
right,
What are
right,
they
right,
gonna animate? But there's always
right.
people checking them, so
Yeah,
it's good. It's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a particular emote? So we talked about the one that you kind of get a lot. Is there one particular
Mm.
emote that you want to do more of, like a style or kind of emote that you really enjoy doing?
Um, I really, really like the combo, the shooting and the reflect of the blaster. Like it looks so fluid and it's just fun.
Oh, that's so
And
good.
and combining them it's just very satisfying. So yeah, I wish more people would reach out for those. Just recently I had a lot of people that already read. I know it's not even Halloween yet, but people reaching about holiday emotes.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of like snowball throw requests. So like hitting each other with snowballs, super fun. I love doing those.
Oh man.
So yeah, I'd say like combos. I really like doing the combos. Maybe one's anime, one's not. It doesn't have to be both animated, but yeah, just making two emotes work together uh, fluidly.
Now you have me. I may gosh, if I can think of something awesome for mine, I would totally go for that. Cuz
Yeah.
I like the idea of it because not many people do that. Honestly. Like isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm real upset now because now I need to now I need one. Now I need a pair or more of
Rethink it.
emotes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, being an artist is also being a salesman. I'll just throw that out there too.
You're like, have you ever thought about this? I mean, I was gonna hit you up for. I mean, I know I've already got you working on some, but I was probably gonna hit you up
Right.
for more at some point anyway. So next time I do,
Right on. Yeah.
yeah,
Let's do it.
I
Be
love
honored.
I love the idea the idea for combos.
Heck yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
It's fun. You get to be a little bit more creative. You're not limited to a square. You get the whole rectangle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm seeing all the combo emotes in chat. I love
Yeah,
it.
like chat's going for
Yeah.
it. Oh, I love it. The vertical combo. Look at that.
Yeah, I've never. That's actually got my
That's
brain
cool.
thinking now,
That's
Yogi. I like
cool.
that.
That's very cool. I like that.
Yeah, I definitely dig that.
Mm.
But again, just Twitch chat in general, just inspiring me. Like little things
Yeah.
like that. I'll see an emote in chat and be like, "Hey, I could do something like that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things I've seen Twitch do was the artist credit for emotes.
Yes.
The fact that
Big W's.
Yeah, the fact that you can click on an emote and ever since those were a thing, you could see where they came from. But now, you can see the artist.
Yep.
Have you seen any kind of like work come in from that sort of thing, or have you found? Yeah,
1000%. Yeah, it's been insane, guys. If you have an artist, you need to credit them. It helps us out so much. I've had multiple people come over and follow me offline. I'd say way more than normal than used to, and they'll catch me on next stream like, oh hey, I saw you made so and so's emote. I want something like that, but with my character, with my face, whatever it might be. And it was a very long way. It's a free way to support your artists and content creators. It's amazing. Yeah, someone even in chat I met via like a Call of Duty streamer that I did emotes for, and they're like, oh, I want some emotes like that, and then reached out, and now they're in my stream all the time. It's awesome. It's great. Yeah, definitely. Again, a free way to support your artists, your art friends. Hook them up. It's a big W on Twitch's end that they did that. I didn't even know it was a thing. It just kind of came out of nowhere.
right.
And I remember I was actually at my honeymoon at the time, and I got the message that was happening. And I get back, and I just had like 40 notifications from Twitch, and I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
And it was just everyone attributing their emotes to me. And I was just, you have to accept them on our end. We have to like accept them.
Right.
Yeah, it was great. It was such a cool feeling. Like, because also I forgot how many people I've worked with in the past. Not all of them stick around. Not all of them are still streaming or whatever. But But
Yeah.
yeah, they were able to get on there, and you know, they might not be streaming anymore, but they still use their own emotes in chat. And again, all it takes is one click now to go check that person out, and
Yeah.
it's very I'm very grateful for it. So
Yeah.
thanks, Twitch.
Thanks, Twitch.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And
Hmm.
yeah, reminder, if you are a streamer and you have emotes done by an artist that is actively on Twitch, make sure you attribute that to them, because
Yep.
Greg right here has pointed out that it's helped them out completely. And what that does is, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
when someone clicks on the emote, it shows and links the artist, and you can get directly to their Twitch profile from an emote that's randomly used in any chat, which is pretty amazing.
Yep.
Is there is
Yeah,
there
it's very
any
nice.
is there anything on Twitch or that you wish Twitch did that would better help or support artists? Like in features similar to that, or are there things that you'd like them to do that would potentially help you out as this art streamer?
You know, nothing super comes to mind. The one thing that still bums me out, they have had automatic resizing for emotes for the longest time. They still don't have automatic resizing for badges. I don't know why. And
Yeah.
it's not the worst thing in the world, but every time I finish a badge, I have to save it 3 different times on different sizes,
Yeah.
and it's very tedious. You know, there's programs out there that does it automatically. I use a website. I just upload it once and then it resizes it for me. But being able to
Right.
skip that step would make me save so much time.
Yeah.
I'd say that's really it. I can't really think anything other than that. They do a really good job about showcasing their artists. I'll get
Hmm.
random ads on Twitch, and they even put like a Twitch emote artist in the ad, and it was like, oh, I make emotes for so and so, and then we went to TwitchCon and met up and lived
Hmm.
happily ever after. You know, it was like a cute story, like how like they you know connected, and it's just cool. It's just cool, you know, the fact that Twitch is pretty good about showcasing artists and whatnot all the time on my homepage. I mean, I know your homepage is catered to you,
Hmm.
but a lot of my stuff is showing me new artists to check out, which I think is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing really that comes to the top of my mind besides the badge thing. That's the only
Yeah.
thorn in my back.
Yeah. I'm glad that they're taking good care of artists in that respect. I know like the accrediting was a big thing for a while that
Yep.
people were actually
Hmm.
asking for as well. So,
Yeah,
that I think that
I had
was
no idea.
yeah, I think that was born out of artists asking for something like
Yeah,
that, saying, "Hey, we would love to
yeah, it's
get
awesome.
better support
Yeah,
for our work on Twitch."
definitely goes a long way.
Yeah.
The artist badge also is a big plus when you do attribute someone. When I type in more and more's chat now, a little artist badge shows up. So even if I'm not self-promoting myself, or you know, more is not promoting me, they can see that artist badge and like, oh, they've done something for more and more, I wonder what, and then maybe click my username and check out my channel, which will lead them to my portfolio, which will lead them to my prices and my in my email.
Yeah.
You know, it's all very fluid. So again, just
Yeah.
big W's on Twitch for doing that for us. It's awesome.
I definitely like the role, that whole role thing, right? Where is
Yeah.
what Greg's referring to is a streamer can set up to, I think, 3 artists as roles in their on
Mm,
their channel.
yeah.
And
Yep.
it when that's done, they get a little artist badge whenever they're in that creator's chat. Is it
Yep.
5? Thank you, Didi. Thank you for
Oh
correcting
wow,
me on that.
5.
I thought it was 3. Thank you. So 5,
Nice.
which is pretty
That's
pretty
interesting.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can attribute it to up to 5 people. It's a role that you set, like mod or VIP. You can now set
Hmm.
artist, and that's been around for a couple months now, and I've
Yeah.
definitely come to appreciate that, because
Yeah.
anytime I'm in a chat, I see an artist, I'll click their profile to check them out, see if
Yeah.
they're. I mean, just
Definitely.
out of even curiosity, like
Yeah.
even like
No, same here.
not necessarily if I'm looking for an artist, but it's just cool to kind of understand who's doing it, you know.
Yep.
And maybe if I stumble upon someone's style that I like, I can kind of
Yep.
keep that in mind for
Oh
future
yeah, 1000%.
projects.
Hmm.
Very cool.
I recently saw they added I don't know if they have to be in the specific category, but I saw game dev badge, and I was like,
Yep.
oh,
Yep.
that's pretty cool. Do you get one of those when you're in your category?
I actually I am on their Twitch's developer Discord, and so
Okay.
I could. It's
Right.
mostly tied to the company that you're with. So like
Gotcha.
your company has to be a recognized game developer. And that's just something that my company, like, they're like, yeah, we can do that. That's fine. I've not pushed
Nice.
for it, but yeah, once they do that, I could then get the badge. And I've seen a couple of
Nice.
those
Okay.
floating around Twitch in the wild. So it's kind of neat. I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out if it's something I want or not.
You actually don't want anyone to know?
Yeah.
Why isn't my game working more?
Yeah, it's definitely when you know, a game I worked on Spellslingers, a Magic title that came out a couple, like, back in August, and definitely I did everything I could for the first month to not be outed as a developer while talking to people in chat, because I wanted to get their legitimate thoughts on the game.
Yeah.
And
They can
then
sway their mind a little bit.
at one point I kind of started to, I'm like, okay, I feel more comfortable. I feel better about doing it. And then eventually at one point, Wizards of the Coast was like, hey, did you just want to stream like a preview of the new stuff that we're all putting out? I'm like, that's a good idea. But then everyone's going to know I'm actually a developer.
Yep.
And then I did. And then, yeah, I got outed. So like everyone in the community now, I can't go and, like, I can go and maybe half the streams and people don't know who I am, but then the other half people are like, oh yeah, you're one of the dudes on the game. I'm like, yeah, I guess I am. It's me. I don't want to like do anything dishonest and like create a whole nother account or use an alternate, but
yeah. No, that's fair. I get that.
But it's a cool idea. The fact that if you are a game developer and you want to be recognized as such, very cool. Very cool stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a global badge.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that's why I think that's why I think it's a little weird, but maybe I'm misunderstanding how it works. But
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's always a start.
Yeah. The fact that you've been doing this for so long and you've done nothing but grow and continue doing it really is exciting. I think it's really cool to see you do that. Even from the moment, like, I've only been following you for maybe 4 or 5 months, not incredibly long, but it's cool even in that small window to see you continue to grow. We've asked this in early episodes of the show. Is there anything that you would tell a young JediGreg as he was getting started in his streaming and art career, that if you had the ability to do such a thing and go back in time and tell yourself something, what would you say?
I think, and we did touch on this again, but just don't sweat the numbers, but again, pay attention to them, because before I would go live and I would have nobody watching, and I would just destroy my mental. I would just be like, nobody's watching, nobody cares, and I would just end early. And that happened quite often. And I wish I hadn't done that, because who knows where I could be at now. If I was live for an extra hour, somebody could have came in that, I met and made lifelong friends with, and they started rating me, anything. It's just every single second of content counts. And that goes with your socials as well. I wasn't really big on my socials at first. I was like, I'm on Twitch, people will find me. They won't. Unfortunately. It's very hard for them to find you. I took forever to get on the TikTok grind. I wish I was there earlier. I've just recently started posting more, and it's been a lot better. I didn't, again, same thing with Twitch. I was like, who's going to want to watch art on Twitch? It's cute people dancing. That's what I thought. I thought it was just a bunch of cute people dancing, but I was very wrong. There's a huge art community on there, lots of tutorials. I've kind of slowly got my content into that, where if I'm on stream, and this is why I love people asking questions in chat, because I can make that into a TikTok easily. That's an easy, I'm live for 2 hours. All you need is 1 minute for a clip on TikTok max. You can do longer, but just showing off one tool or one technique that I use to shade, whatever it might be, can blow up, absolutely blow up. I posted a TikTok 2 days ago, and a random Twitch partner came in to my chat and was like, "Oh, hey, I saw your TikTok, like so sick, dude. Like, I'm so glad I found you on there. I'm definitely gonna be coming to you for emotes soon." And he emailed me literally a couple, like today, I think this morning. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's all it takes. That's literally all it takes.
Yeah.
And I slept on it for so long. And I definitely regret that. I would tell my younger self to grind on the socials a little bit more. Also the prints.
Yeah.
I never did prints. It was all digital. And wow, what a cool feeling getting your prints printed. If you're an artist, like, and you're digital specifically, print that stuff, because it is such a cool feeling. You can sell them. You can just hang them up around your house. It's easy Christmas presents. Just throwing that out there. And it's not crazy expensive to do. There is a little bit of investment, but definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. But yeah, I guess I would just tell myself to not slack on the stuff that I didn't think was so important, but actually was.
Right.
Yeah.
Good wisdom. Good wisdom. You hear that, folks?
Yeah.
Yeah. One person that I think does a fantastic job at consistently doing content on TikTok is Terrific Asherific, who's
okay.
variety streamer, brick builder, been on the show a couple times. Definitely, I could hook you two up in terms of like if you ever need like perspective on someone who does that sort of thing regularly. So she's a big
Right on.
TikTok person. Also does some art on her own streams on occasion. So
nice.
But yeah,
I'll make sure to follow them back too.
yeah. They're great stuff in terms of like how to TikTok, because
cool.
She pops up on my feed all the time because she's just done so much, which is awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's super cool.
I really appreciate you being on this episode with me. Thank you for your perspective. Where can people find you and all of your things on the internet, Greg?
Most socials, you can just look up at JediGreg. TikTok, someone did steal it. There's a TV after JediGreg. But yeah, mostly Twitch if you want to see the process or find any more info as far as portfolio and whatnot. Just JediGreg.design instead of .com, JediGreg.design. I thought it was cool. I kind of wish I had a .com, but I think it was taken. But yeah, mostly JediGreg for the most part. And yeah, I'd love to meet and would be an honor to work with any of you guys out there.
I think this is kind of a good place to consider wrapping up. But what I would love to do is just kind of was there anything you were thinking about touching on at this point? Because I feel like we've been pretty thorough, but I definitely don't want to miss anything. Anything you wanted to talk about or cover?
Nothing comes to mind. I mean, I didn't start as a graphic designer, and it's never too late. Don't let age stop you. I started pretty late in the graphic design game. I didn't do college. I didn't do, proper schooling for graphic design. Anything you want to do, within reason, physically and mentally, practice makes perfect. If you want to make a, not even a career, but a hobby, something you really enjoy doing, just practice at it and keep doing it. I was doing photography. I thought I was going to be a professional photographer my whole life. I was like, all I'm going to do, I'm going to work with models. I'm going to work with, specifically when I moved out west, I was wanting to do skateboard photography, and it was pretty good. I was doing all right on Instagram. It was all good. I had a very close group of friends wanting to, get photos taken. I've had people reach out to me to get their photos taken if they're visiting town. But in the end, I just realized that one, it wasn't, I guess, worth it money wise, but also, is this really what I want to do? And just don't bum yourself out about that you took so long to figure out your passions, because you don't find it out overnight. But yeah, honestly, that's it with the photography. I got a little like thing to show off. This is the only 2 photos I ever got in a magazine, and I love these photos. They're great, and it's a cool feeling being in a magazine and whatnot. But I again found my passions very late in life. I'm not super old. I'm not trying to sound like crazy. I'm 30. It wasn't. I know that's old to a lot of TikTokers. But just don't give up on your dreams, and sometimes those dreams change. that's really it. I guess that would be the last thing I really had on my mind.